Good evening. Joep, could you please start? Peter, how would you like to describe it this evening? Painful. Was it humiliating? Yes. Is it a surprise? Yes, it is a surprise. It is surprising. Not winning against Arsenal is possible. They're also missing 4 attackers. Yet, it is a great team and we did not play well. And then from the sideline you feel that you're playing a team that is really, really good. Are these individual errors, or is it also the team discipline that makes you concede these goals? What can you tell about this? Whenever you're analyzing goals in football, then which you do, then obviously you see personal errors too, which makes sense. And we need to defend in a better way. That makes sense too. What did you say in the dressing room afterwards? Because what we see are many people who, players who are really put down, which makes sense because it's very painful to lose to 7-1. And it hurts the player, it hurts young players, but also more the older players. It would be very bad if they were smiling in the dressing room. It would be odd. So yes, they're disappointed. Disappointed by this beating, so that makes sense. Do you believe in a transition, in a turnaround? Yes, of course. Well, I understand that for the last few weeks things have not been going well, except for the game against the Juventus and the game against Feyenoord. But the difference was just too big. But this was really a beating, and it was painful. There are 2 moments during the match that we could have turned it around. That was when we hit the bar, when it was still 0-0, and when then there was a second or 0-0, and when there's a second yellow possibly, then you would have gotten a red card. That may have helped you, but this didn't happen, and then the game unfolds as you all saw, and we really fell short. Pascal? So what hurts you most personally then? Well, it's about winning games, and the fact that we cannot win this game at home. During the break you talk and you try to adjust and indicate a few things, because during the first half we already transitioned a few things because we felt we were not getting grips on the game, so we did try to adjust a few things, and we said try to find and go for that 3-2 because it could really be a turnaround. But then in the 46th and 47th minute it was already 1-5. It was then so painful that whatever you do, you simply don't succeed. It doesn't help. Well, it's not just that whatever you do is not succeeding, but we played a top team today and we really got a beating. But it does not matter that next game will occur the same way. We first are playing Heerenveen. We are second in the league, and that is what we have to go for. And we need to win that match next week or this weekend. And it's up to me to really turn around the players and make them be positive again. But because last week it was the same after you played Go Ahead Eagles and things didn't improve. But things went well against Juventus, and it was also not that long ago. Well, with regards to trust and moral, that was all good. But since the defeat against Go Ahead Eagles, this didn't help. Tonight's game, no, yes, I understand. you don't need, that's not rocket science. Of course, this is a beating. Also, when we played Juventus, we were in a lesser phase, and then we played very well against them. So it is possible to turn things around. So yes, that's possible. We will do everything in our power. Why will you succeed this time to turn things around? So why will you? Because we showed that we could also do it against Juventus and also against Feyenoord. And also when we played not great football before. So it's possible. We should really show it. And against Go Ahead Eagles, during the first half, we did play very well. So you're really breaking a few negative records. It's the biggest defeat ever, biggest defeat in the Champions League. Are these things that that keep you you'll take with you? Is it not really special, or doesn't really matter? Well, I'm not happy with these records, but I can't really do much with them. We also have positive records, most number of points, for example, but that doesn't really do anything to tonight's game anymore. Things were not well. Peter, what does give you the feeling that you can turn things around for 3 times in a row? How, and will you put things on track for Saturday? Because with the same players in the past, we've already showed that we can, and that we can really play football very well. That brings trust. Don't you think maybe it's me? Is there something I do wrong? I know it's a nasty question, but if you're losing 3 times in a row, then these kind of questions will be sent your way. No, because if I knew what I was doing wrong, then I would work on that, of course. Do you feel abandoned by your team? No, of course not. I started here 1.5 years ago, together with the players, and we showed great football, great results. And right now, we are in a phase when things are not going well. So we need to snap out of that, and it would be ridiculous if I blame my players. Of course, they're not doing things well, but I should point that out, and we will work on that. Could you inform us what your plan was to play Ødegaard? The intention was to play Joey Veerman, but he was ill, so we had to adjust things, and Ismail Saibari was playing, but he already couldn't get a hold of him in the beginning, so I turned things around with Jerry Schouten early in the game, and I thought we were playing a bit better then, and it was still 0-0 back then, so that was the intention. But Ødegaard is a player who keeps on moving and keeps on running away. So you just said during the halftime break, you said let's go for the 3-2, and maybe Saibari was a bit higher up in the pitch, and Ødegaard was way more free. I did not adjust Ismail Saibari position, or maybe he did do it himself. Whenever Ismail is running deep and central defender defends him and Ødegaard stays, and he will be put free, and you need to make sure that that is covered too. And you cannot blame Ismail Saibari for that. When we just lost the ball, then it's clear that Ødegaard is then a free player. But a few times he was running away from his back. That was during the first half, and that is why I adjusted things. Also during the last goal. But then there's a moment when you say, or when you might think, this will really be a historic beating if we will continue. Are you just then defending? I really followed your advice, didn't I? When was it? When you said, was it not better to defend with more players? I think we did do that today, but it didn't work. I don't think we should have this discussion with this opponent, because Arsenal were a great side. We really played with a lower block today, with 3 players, and then you see that we do not have the real defenders to play very sharply, who then still receive crossings which are headed in, or that were not short enough in the box. Apparently it's not working that well. Indeed, not against the top opponent. Just assume 2 more short things. What is your contact right now with Ernest Stewart to explain this situation and to turn it around? Well, how it goes, always. He's involved. He's here. He has an office. So we speak to each other every day. And we talk about this, of course. You are really still fighting. Do you feel the trust of the board? Yes. Peter, I also would like to talk about that. If you see how you are conceding goals within the box, then it's indeed a confirmation that you should not play too much in the box. Also, Juventus had that, and from the back line, all the defenders went to the goal. But is there anything possible to be more intelligent about it? Of course, you hope that players learn more through experience, of course. On the other hand, we chose for the style of playing with high pressure, so that we do not find ourselves in too many problems in the defense. But against a team such as Arsenal, it's very easy for them to play around that pressure, and then we had to defend within the box, and then you know that this is not where your real qualities are. But last season you also said, you showed a few images, Arsenal away, and really defending 1-to-1, it cannot be done by your players, and still they cannot do that. Not everyone can. But these are professional athletes, right? Just one more thing. You also worked abroad. Did you gather any extra understandings on how to adjust and how to get to your players when things are difficult? Should you let somebody else speak instead of yourself? Would that work? What else could you do? I don't think that things are different in the Netherlands than anywhere abroad. If things are not going well, then you should make clear that where you're headed to. I think there's a need to clarity and not turn everything around just like that. My players showed that they can really play very well. And you could also see that all these players are very well too. And of course it makes sense when you had such a week that there's low trust. And of course then this is shown later. And it's up to me to turn that around and to give them that trust again. And you should not do anything odd. Back to basics. Peter, sometimes you said that a top team doesn't lose twice in a row, but now there's 3 times in a row. A defeat against Heerenveen, would you consider that you could still continue as a coach? Well, apparently I was right. A top team doesn't lose 2 times in a row, because right now we do not show. Of course, we are a top club, but we should also be a top team. But it's a top club with ambitions, and then you should not lose 2, 3, 4 times in a row. You should find a turnaround very quickly. Yes, we have to. But you asked if I was scared to lose my job. No, I'm not scared to lose my job. Do you feel better supported here than in Dortmund or Leverkusen? I was really supported very well in Leverkusen and here too, by people who are involved and who do understand football. So I have full trust. Ryan's Flamingo's substitution, what was the base? Tactical, or was he injured? The substitution? I didn't understand. You substituted him. Why was that? I wanted to protect him. He's still very young and he's been playing very well. It was an epiphany and I see that he's struggling. And again, he was struggling during the first half, so I had to protect him. And that's why I substituted him. Thank you, and I'll see you Friday. Most of you.